Nikola Tesla. He was a Serbian-American inventor. In 1882, Tesla worked at Edison's European branch and invented the alternating current system. At the same voltage, it could transmit farther than Edison's direct current system, much farther. But this undoubtedly brought a huge challenge to Edison's business empire. In the 1880s, Edison and his partners initiated the famous War of Currents, aiming to discredit Tesla's new electrical system. He performed a series of horrific experiments in front of everyone, such as instantly electrocuting small animals with alternating current, to show people the danger of this new electrical system. Edison also used newspapers and pamphlets to tell people that his direct current was the safest. In his later years, Tesla, because he relinquished the patent for alternating current, lived in relative financial hardship. In 1943, he passed away in a hotel in New York. At that time, his wireless technology, some views in his radio and remote control concepts were still considered impractical. But today, the world's power systems are inseparable from the application of alternating current. In 1943, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that Nikola Tesla was the inventor of the radio. Mendel. Mendel was originally an Austrian monk. In the 1850s and 60s, in the monastery's vegetable garden, he began experimenting with peas. He studied different generations of peas' traits and numbers and conducted detailed observation and analysis. He researched plant height, seed shape, and flower color to see how these traits were inherited. After long-term experiments, he finally discovered the laws of inheritance, but this contradicted the mainstream theories of the time. Scientists at the time promoted the theory of blending inheritance, meaning that trait inheritance would blend together like mixing paint. But Mendel believed that genetic factors are independent. Trait segregation would occur, and traits also have dominant and recessive forms. After Mendel published his research findings, he still couldn't attract the attention of the academic world at the time. Ultimately, Mendel was forced to abandon his genetics research until his death in 1884. In 1900, which was 16 years after Mendel's death, 3 botanists again verified the accuracy of Mendel's laws of inheritance. From then on, the study of genetics officially entered the Mendelian era. He is also known as the Great Father of Genetics. Ignaz Semmelweis. He was a Hungarian physician. In the 1840s, he served as an obstetrician at the Vienna General Hospital. During his tenure, he discovered that in the first clinic run by obstetricians, the mortality rate of mothers from puerperal fever was as high as 10% to 18%. But in the second clinic, run by midwives, the mortality rate from puerperal fever was only 2% to 3%. After careful observation, Semmelweis discovered that the obstetricians of the time were accustomed to performing autopsies in the morning before delivering babies, while the midwives did not. Therefore, in 1847, he established a new rule. Doctors had to, before surgery, wash their hands with a chlorine disinfectant solution. Soon, the mortality rate in the first clinic dropped rapidly, on par with the second clinic. But Semmelweis not only did not receive praise from everyone, he was also attacked by the public. Some obstetricians felt they were greatly insulted, because Semmelweis claimed that it was the doctor's hands full of cadaverous particles that sent the mothers to their deaths. Semmelweis himself was considered an outcast by the medical community, and his theory was also considered heresy. Eventually, he was forced to leave the Vienna General Hospital. Due to prolonged psychological stress, he had a mental breakdown. In 1865, he was sent to a mental hospital for compulsory treatment. 2 weeks later, he unfortunately passed away at the age of 47. Later, with the development of the germ theory of disease in the 19th century, Semmelweis' theory was gradually accepted by everyone. Now, handwashing as a basic hygiene measure has effectively reduced the spread of various infectious diseases, saving countless lives. Rachel Carson. She was an American marine biologist. In 1962, she published the book Silent Spring, which systematically revealed the harm of using chemical pesticides, especially DDT, to the ecosystem and human health. The book used scientific evidence to point out that pesticides like DDT would accumulate through the food chain, leading to the death of organisms and disrupting the ecological balance. These chemicals could also cause cancer and genetic damage. But at that time, the pesticide manufacturing industry strongly discredited Carson. They said Carson was a wicked person spreading rumors, a madwoman maintaining the balance of nature. Some even attacked her personally. At that time, Carson's health was deteriorating. She had breast cancer and passed away in April 1964. At this point, it had been less than 2 years since the publication of Silent Spring. However, before her death, President Kennedy's Science Advisory Committee had published a report on the pesticide issue, proving Carson's views were correct. Under Carson's influence in 1972, the United States completely banned the production and use of DDT. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency was also established. Today, Rachel Carson is considered an important founder of the modern environmental movement. Many of her studies during her lifetime have also been continuously verified by subsequent science, becoming the cornerstone of environmental action. Alfred Wegener. He was a German meteorologist and geologist. In 1912, he proposed the theory of continental drift, that all continents on Earth were previously a unified giant landmass. Later, due to splitting and drifting, they became the current positions. He discovered that the outlines of the South American and African continents fit very well, like two puzzle pieces. After that, he continuously collected data, tracing the rocks of various places, mountain ranges, and strata to verify his conjecture. He named the original supercontinent Pangaea. He believed that Pangaea had already split on the Earth's surface and drifted for hundreds of millions of years. But this theory of his was widely attacked by the scientific community at the time. They mocked Wegener's theory as a daydream. And because Wegener mainly studied meteorology, they also mocked Wegener as an amateur who knew nothing about geology. The American Association of Petroleum Geologists even held a seminar specifically to challenge his views. British geologist Harold Jeffreys also claimed that his theory was utter damned rot. In 1930, Wegener unfortunately passed away while investigating the climate in Greenland. Unfortunately, he passed away. It was not until the 1950s-60s, with the rise of theories such as marine geology and development, that people gradually accepted Wegener's theory of continental drift. And on this basis, a new theory was created, the theory of plate tectonics. Galileo. He was an Italian scientist. In 1609, after learning about the invention of the Dutch telescope, Galileo, in order to be able to more clearly observe the satellites of Jupiter and the phases of Venus, independently designed and improved the telescope. But by analyzing the observation results, he found that the planets revolve around the Sun, not the Earth. The Sun is the center of the universe. This directly challenged the official cosmology of the Catholic Church at the time, which was that the Earth is the stationary center of the universe, and other celestial bodies revolve around the Earth. In 1633, the already 70-year-old Galileo was tried by the Roman Inquisition. He was judged to be vehemently suspect of heresy, forced to publicly renounce the heliocentric theory, and was placed under house arrest. He spent the rest of his life under house arrest. His book, Dialogue Concerning the Two Chief World Systems, was also banned and placed on the Index of Forbidden Books. It was not until October 1992, more than 300 years after Galileo's death, that Pope John Paul II officially exonerated Galileo. Today, Galileo is recognized as the father of modern science.